a monster inside of me. You better watch out if you ignite me. There's a road ahead of full prophecy to be the greatest beast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day like the bones clean. I feed him all the hate and he grows me. And he gets claws real big, pissed off quick. And if you cross him, you might drop dead. Metaphorically, of course, settling this war. Never getting bored, loves the blood and gore. Always wanting more, feeding from the source. They don't really understand until they feel the force.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our very first All in LUSC podcast. Sometimes it'll be Gary, sometimes it'll be Russell, and hopefully more times than not, it's going to be both. How we doing, Gary? Are you all right, mate?
Happy Yorkshire Day, buddy. Yeah, I'm absolutely fine. It sounds like we've got a lot to discuss this evening on our podcast. And let's hope that it's a successful podcast, Stu. There's no problems. And it's all plain sailing from here. Full moon tonight, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed it's all going to go swimmingly. And we don't have any issues at all. And we produce a nice podcast for people to enjoy, either in YouTube Music or one of the other podcasting forums. Perhaps, I don't know if are you using Spotify at all, Stu, or not?
No, we'll have to learn how to do that.
We'll have to learn how to do that. YouTube Music is the one way you'll be able to find it. You'll also be able to find it here on the native YouTube app. So it's going to be a really in-depth, I think, perhaps. We've got a number of items on the agenda for this evening. And did I start by saying Happy Yorkshire Day, Stu?
You did, mate. Yeah, you did. Now, I listened to every word you said, and now if I go without making a mistake, our viewers will think that there's something wrong. So, and you know what I mean. But anyway, who's it? Inky's in chat. Good afternoon, Inky. Hope you're doing well, mate. Yeah, being busy. Are you there?
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
Right, yeah. It's going to be a busy show. We'll hopefully do this on a weekly basis. If people like it, I'm sure they'll tell me if to do or don't. But anyway, so look, I never thought that I'd see the day where we're doing a podcast, Gary, on disabled team ever. Not ever.
Well, it's growth, Stu. It's growth
No,
and different directions.
Academic diary.
It's growth and the channel's growing and people are wanting more, I think, and people are enjoying it. And I mean, the way I look at it is it's no different from producing a normal live stream or watch along or anything like that. We just call it a podcast. Basically means that you can listen to it on the go on your mobile phone or whatever, and you don't need to watch anything. It's just available in its audio format. In YouTube Music, of course, you get that tab option where you can watch the video, or you can just have the audio. So a good mix and match there, and it helps us reach new audiences, and hopefully welcomes people into the disabled team. So it's going to be a good podcast. We've got a lot to talk about. There's a lot happening at Elland Road in the last hour. The good news is, Stu, go ahead with the good news. Let's start with the good.
Start with good. Cresswell's signed a new contract at Leeds United Football Club, which is always good. It's always good to hear about players signing contracts rather than players wanting to leave. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm glad that he's signed a deal with us to stay at Leeds. Really happy with that.
It's a terrific deal for us. I really rate Cresswell. I think he's a good player. I rated him before he went out on his loan move to Millwall. The news coming out of Elland Road is as follows: that Leeds United are pleased to announce Charlie Cresswell has signed a new contract. The defender has put pen to paper on a new 4-year deal, keeping him at Elland Road until the summer of 2027. He's only 20 years old, Stu. I thought he was a little bit older than that, but he's 20 years old. And he says that he's progressed through the youth ranks at Thorpe Arch, being part of the winning sides of with both the under-18s and under-23s. He went on to make the senior debut for the Whites in September 2020 against Hull in the Carabao Cup, and followed up this with 6 appearances during the 21-22 season, including 5 in the Premier League. Last season, Cresswell spent the campaign on loan at Millwall, This is the really interesting bit. And they made an instant impression, scoring 2 goals on his debut against Stoke in a 2-0 victory. He made a total of 28 appearances on during that season at the Den, helping Millwall keep 13 clean sheets in the process. Now, apparently, he had an eye injury, and when that happened, Millwall then, I think they win just 2 matches. It says Gary Rowett's side was 5th in the division in April when Creswell suffered the fractured eye socket, forcing the defender to miss the final 7 games of the campaign. Millwall went on to win just 2 matches and slipped out of the playoff places on the final day. Over the summer, Creswell has had success in the international stage, being part of England under-21 squad, which won the European under-21 championships in Georgia and Romania. Creswell will wear the number 5 shirt for Leeds United during the 23-24 campaign. That's the end of the press release. So a fantastic note to start the new disabled team podcast, I think, Stu.
Very good, Gary. Get in there. Well said. Well read. Michael Brown's in the chat. Good afternoon, Michael. Hope you're doing well, mate. And yeah, great win for the Lionesses early today. They bet China 6-1, and have gone through to the last 16 of the Women's World Cup.
That's a really interesting result. I mean, I've not really followed the ladies World Cup, isn't it? And in China, that's going to be a big disappointment for them. It's a country where I have personal connections. I have friends up there. One of them's the head of department, and then another one's a deputy head. And the one that's head of department is head of PE. And the pressure that he's getting from the school, the parents, the governing council, if you like, is absolutely huge. You know, the kids up there are under tremendous pressure to achieve and to go on to sport at the highest, very highest level, and they are literally pouring, like everything else with China. They are pouring tons of money at it, throwing tons of money at trying to make China a bigger and better sporting country than the US. You know, I mean, they've been competing with the US in the Olympics for years, haven't they? But this, in the future years ahead, it's a really, really competitive matchup between the US and China. Britain, of course. Well, we were always there or thereabouts, but you have to feel that these other countries they are really interested now in sports. We look at the likes of what's going on in the Middle East over the football stuff, the Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE. They're all vying for that spotlight in sport. Russia, of course, before the war, Russia was making great inroads, Formula One, Olympics, this and that. So sport is definitely on the rise around the world, and well done to the Lionesses, because I'm pretty sure that the scoreline is a fantastic scoreline for us, but I'm sure it probably wasn't as easy a game as perhaps the scoreline makes out. They are ultra competitive over all the sports in China. So, well done, the Lionesses. Let's hope that they go on and win the thing. Stu.
Yeah, mate. Just say hello to Lee in the chat. Hiya, Lee. Hope you're doing well, mate. Richard Daly was one of the Lionesses who scored as a Yorkshire lass with a big Leeds United supporter and attends matches at Ellen Road when she can, to watch Leeds go and top goal scorer in the Women's Super League last season.
Yeah. I mean, it's something that I am kind of following in tips and taps. I'm not sort of following it per se 100%, but I don't know what you feel, Stu, but where I'm from in Silsden, we do have a ladies' side. That is on the up. It seems to be something that people are interested in.
Yeah.
Do you think the men are going to lose the spotlight?
Not in my lifetime, unfortunately, and I'll tell you the reason why, and it's a big reason, unfortunately, and it's all to do with money.
Yeah.
What the Premier League earn and what the players' wages are, the male players' wages, women can't compete with that, and they know it. So they have to get their they have to get their attend audience and stuff by like e.g. England winning the Euros last season.
It,
And that drew in a load of uh, new attendances to the women's game of football, and Chelsea and Leeds and even Man United to a degree now are spending millions of pounds on women players to join their team. So I think it's on the up, but I don't think it's going to be dominated over the male sport yet. Personally,
no. I mean, if we look around the world in places like the US, Canada, and like New Zealand, Australia, there is a big campaign for the ladies to get the equal pay and the equal pay rights, and I think they had that at Wimbledon this year. But at Wimbledon, they're drawing. They can draw as big a crowd, can't they? It's always fully centre court when you get a big player, a big name there. But with football, it's slightly different. That at the moment they're not getting the attendances in that are going to be able to compete with the men's sport. But I think I'm right in saying that I did watch a Leeds United ladies game just before I went to England, actually, and I think they were playing at Tadcaster. Is that right? Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but they were playing at Tadcaster, and I'll tell you what, it can be brutal. It can be brutal and very, very entertaining. Can ladies football? So I urge anybody who hasn't given it the time of day, give one ladies football game the time of day, and you'll be impressed. My dad was watching, I think, Colombia the other day, and Colombia had I think it was 1-1 against Germany, and the Colombians scored an absolute peach of a goal. If you haven't seen it, go and have a look at it. We can't show you on the podcast or on this video for copyright reasons, of course. It's going to be a little bit sketchy for us doing that, but it's certainly capturing the imagination of the audiences, especially the ladies, and the more ladies take an interest in it, I think the better. Stu, do you think?
I agree. I totally agree, Michael. Garrett. Michael's just put a comment there. Apparently, Glenn Kamara has frozen out. Yeah, I did a video on this yesterday. He's training on his own now. He's Glenn Kamara at Rangers by the manager, Michael Beale. I hope Leeds do make a move for him. He's valued at $5 million.
Yeah,
I think it'd be a good signing if we can get him. I think it'd be a good signing if we can get Glenn Kamara. Me and Mally did a video on him last week, and he looks a really tidy player. Gary, right, getting back to this podcast.
To our agenda.
Agenda, yeah. You haven't seen our away shirt, Leeds shirt yet, have you? What's been leaked?
I saw a photograph that went around the other day, but I mean, like anything else, Stu, I generally don't sort of believe anything until it sort of comes out on the club site as that this is the official kit, and I think that's something similar to what I saw the other day. So where is that shirt? that's what we want to know.
It's hanging on a JD clothes peg.
Oh, yeah. So JD Sports.
It's hanging on a JD. Now, if that is the shirt, Gary, would you go out and buy it? I mean, it's total opposite to the home shirt, isn't it? The home shirt's simplicity and beauty. The away shirt's in your face.
Well, I think the peacocks are sort of like a bit like this shirt that I'm wearing. It's kind of it's very subtle, isn't it? It's not. It's not. easy to see the peacock and the weaving and the patterns in the shirt, but there are patterns there, I think. I thought I'm not so sure about the baby blue colour across the sleeves. I think had it been yellow or white, I think it would have kept a little bit more in line with the club colours. But I mean, this is something that I spoke about a while ago with the 49ers, and what are the plans when they're coming in? Are they going to start changing badges, changing colours, and all this sort of thing? Are we going to end up with a red strip? And luckily, none of that's happened. Overall, Stu, out of 10, I think I'd probably give it an 8. So it's a nice shirt, but I think I think it's the trim on it for me that would I buy it? Could you just show it again, Stu?
Of course,
I'm not so sure about the badge. Have they changed the colouring on the badge?
Yeah, they've made that as a
they've made that like bluey, haven't they? Is that
mint green as well?
You see, I'm not so sure about that. I think if they'd have had the normal badge like I have here, I think I've probably be more inclined to buy it. And the coloration of the sponsor and obviously Adidas, had it been a little bit more in line with the Leeds colours. So I think overall I like the pattern, I like the design, but I'm not so sure about the trim and the text and stuff like that. Would I buy it? Well, it's 65 quid a shirt, isn't it, these days? Yeah. I think I'd probably buy that, yeah. Would I pay 65 quid? Stu, I'm tight. I'm being a fellow Yorkshireman, mate. I'm as tight as a duck's tight as a duck's ass. So
I think short arms, just a famous Ken Bates.
That's right. Yeah. So I think I'd probably say, wait for the sale.
I agree. I do agree.
And then I'd probably, but I've seen, everybody's fantasizing over a yellow kit, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I really hope that they make that happen. That we have a plainish yellow kit with nice trim on it, and I've seen a couple of those mock-ups that have been going around, and I think chat. You probably know the one I'm talking about. Overall, yeah, I mean, it's not bad. It's not Leeds. It's not 100% Leeds, though, is it? It's about It's about 70% Leeds. So 7 out of 10 for whoever created that.
Yeah, it might look better when it's actually on you rather than hung up on a coat, Anna, if that makes sense.
I mean, I'm not the most the biggest person when it comes to fashion and stuff like that, but I still believe that you have to try and keep it in the club colour scheme, and to me it's a little bit. But you see, when they came out with that, was it? I've got that shirt as well in my wardrobe, the Kappa one with grey and pink. I was like, oh, you know what? That looks awesome. Does that? I think I'll buy it. And I bought it. And I'm like, I think perhaps the reason was, though, at the time I couldn't get my hands on a home shirt. So I was and I didn't really have much of a choice because I was in Leeds, and I was like, you know what, I've only got 2 days left or something, so I'll just buy this shirt and have done with it. But when it's on and you're wearing it, you feel good, sort of thing. And I can imagine that when you put that on, you probably feel good. So, and it's sometimes shirts don't always when I go shopping, I really like that. I'm buying it. Done. I'm very, very targeted about shopping. I'm not. I'm going to try this on. I'm going to try that on, and da 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 da. I buy it, try it, buy it. Try it, buy it, and away. I'm done. I'm not going to look around at the alternatives. And I think this is going to be a grower. I think if I bought it, or if I saw it and I tried it on, I think I'd probably be like, you know what? It looks all right. There's this. It fits well. And For me, I'm a very odd shape, Stu. I'm one of these people, and there's not many of us. I'm very short, and I'm putting it on around the midriff. So, for me, the main reason when I go shopping is it must fit or be very close to fit. I mean, like every time I buy like jeans or like that, it always has to get short and trapped. It's a real pain. I've got really short legs. I'm a short ass. So there you go, Stu. That's my thought. Yeah, it's not bad. Could have been better, I think. You?
I just hope they do it in a bigger size this time rather than just going up to 3XL because it's causing me no end of problems. You know what I mean? No offense, but 3XL don't cover my neckline, never mind my chest line.
No. I mean, we. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a problem out here, and the problem is that we don't get any Leeds merch out here, any official Leeds merch. Even in the Adidas stores, you might find Arsenal shirts, you might find Man United shirts, etc. But then anything else that you see is 99% chance it's a knockoff, and I'll never buy knockoff stuff. I'm a bit of a stickler for kind of supporting the club and all that sort of thing. So I'm like, well, I'd rather wait until I get home to the UK, and then I'll go on a bit of a shopping frenzy. So there we go. Right, let's have a look. There's some comments here, Stu. I think perhaps about what we've discussed there. Let's have a look.
Colombia beat Germany 2-1, the best match at the Women's World Cup. The highly rated 19-year-old Colombian player scored a peach of a goal that Michael mentioned.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to come back to that message, Michael, because that's going to be on his agenda. Good afternoon, Ian. Hope you're doing well, mate. Hope you're doing well. Silly question, is that your home shirt? No, that's the away shirt, supposedly, Ian. And then Ian says that okay, it looks decent enough. Right, I'm gonna come back to that one, Michael. Right, so what we're gonna do, guys, is the next thing on the list, on the agenda is the most important thing, I think, Gary. Are we ready for the start of the season?
In my opinion, at the moment, no, I don't think we are. I think we're nearly there, but I still think we're still a couple of signings short of a really, really good Leeds side. I still think, I know Ayling scored the other night, but I'm still not convinced. I don't know if he's going to be able to hack it in the Championship now, given his age. Bamford is another one. I'm not so sure about Bamford. I am sure about Bamford. I think, and we've said it before on our different shows across the different streams and things, that Patrick Bamford, if we get any kind of offer for him, don't hesitate and let him go. But the thing is what about replacements? And this is the big problem now, isn't it? We've got Rutter. He could be out. We don't know how long yet at the moment. And with his, I believe they said, or they described it as a core muscle injury. So I'm not so sure. It's probably just something in or about the rib cages by the look of it when he went off. Bamford is out for the start of the season. He'll miss the Cardiff match. Leeds need to get forward before the season starts. Pirot at Swansea has been talked about. And a Finnish striker. Stu, we've talked about Pirot a few times, haven't we?
Yeah, and there's also another, Michael, I did a video on him the other day. And his name's Joel too. It's a really long Finnish name, and I'm no good with names. I'm just gonna see if I can find the thumbnail, and then I'll be able to tell you what it's called. But please bear with me. You might hear a bit of sound. No, you won't. That's good. His name is Joel. Let me find it. I've done so many videos, Gary. This last few. Joe. It's not Joe Perot. It's not Willie Nonso. It's Joel. He's definitely from Finland, and I can't remember his surname. It begins with a P. Joe.
Yeah.
It's something like Pogaletica or something. And he's a Finnish striker. He plays for Valencia in Serie B, and his value is €3 million. He's got a €3 million release clause in his contract.
Is that Vicenza? Is it Vicenza?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, Vicenza. Yeah,
Vicenza. Yeah. So, if I find him, I'll let you know, Stu. But I'm just looking at. I'm just going to have a look at that. But I mean, there's still many names that are still being bandied about. I mean, the other day I saw Divock Origi being linked yet again, or people say, "Oh, Divock Origi." I mean, he isn't going to come to Leeds United. He's Champions League winner, isn't he? He ain't going to come to Leeds United, is he? And compete for a place in the Leeds team. I don't think. I think he's one of these players. Probably thinks he's a better player than he actually is.
I agree. I agree with that.
So I don't think he's for us, to be honest with you. It has to be somebody who's committed to the game, and then somebody who's going to commit themselves to Leeds United Football Club. I'm kind of, I mean, this Perot's been talked about, but then is it Adama Traore from Wolves has been talked about as well? Am I right in saying that? Is that his name, Traore? Stu, are you there?
Me, Gary. Yep, I've found that guy's name, and I'm. How do I do it? How do I do this? Live. How do I send you a message in private? I'm going to put his message. I'm going to put his name on the screen anyway. In chat, so that way I can put it up on the screen for you to be able to pronounce. That's his name there, Gary. Joe Pojampalo.
Oh yeah, Pojampalo. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
so that's
£3 million.
£3 million. I mean.
Well, €3 million as well. So what is that? About £2.6 million British pound.
Like that, yeah. I mean, there's going to be fluctuations and stuff like that, but I don't know just how we've come across him. Someone's obviously scouted him and thought that he might be a good fit for what we need. So I've not actually seen anything of him, and I think it's just a case of the news is so fresh out there. I'd have to have a look and see what I thought before I kind of formed an opinion. But whatever it is we decide, the main thing is we need someone who's going to get 20 plus goals in a season. I don't think Bamford's capable of doing that. I think that he's struggling with his form, his fitness, his confidence, and all this other stuff. And then, sure enough, we're playing Hearts week before the kickoff, the big kickoff, and he goes and gets himself a boot under the chin and a hamstring to boot. To go with it. I feel really sorry for him. Because he's put his heart. He obviously puts his heart and soul into it, but I think you have to be brutally honest and brutally honest, and you have to be blunt and say, is he going to be good enough? Is he going to get us 20 goals in a season? My answer is highly likely he won't. He wouldn't be able to do that for us in Championship. And now we've got hamstring injury. How long is he going to be out for? Nobody knows. So that's it. Patrick Bamford. Boom. Move on. Next. Stu, off you go.
Well, the next one is well. Let's do it this way. Right. Tyler Adams has sent a clear transfer hint amid his Chelsea links, and Michael Brown breaks into that quite nicely. Is Tyler Adams on his bit of Chelsea? He has a has he a relegation clause in his contract? Yes, Michael, I believe it's £20 million.
Wow.
I can't forgive Orta in a way he had set these contracts to leave Leeds on the relegation lease loan deals.
Yeah.
Do you know what I think, Michael? I've been thinking about this with the release clause deals. I think because we were in it was January. We were in a we were in a difficult position, and I think it might have been the only way we could attract these players to Leeds by saying, "Look, if we do get relegated, you can go out on loan, or you can have a release clause."
Mm. It certainly sounds like it's a deal breaker, doesn't it? I mean, from our point of view, and a lot of Leeds fans are not happy with the business that's gone on so far. Like, we've got a lot of people going out, quote unquote, on loan. Woba's another one today. Sorry, Woba's that one happened a couple of days ago, didn't it? Stu's got something to say about Woba because I think you're quite upset. Go on, Stu. Do your quote. What's the quote again?
Well, his quote is he said that he's a warrior and a fighter, and he believes he's a leader on the pitch. Now, that's what he said when he joined Munchgladbach. That's what he said when he joined them. And I think he's totally the opposite. He's a coward. He run away from a problem. He jumped ship, but knowing when he had the chance to, and he's no warrior for me.
It's really infuriating a lot of Leeds fans, and it's a total juxtaposition, isn't it, Stu? You know, it's saying one thing, doing completely the opposite, and a lot of Leeds fans, when people walk out of the club and they go on loan or they activate the release clause. Quite rightly, Leeds fans get upset. I'm upset. I thought he would have been a really good asset for us this season.
I do.
I mean, the Austrian league isn't that good anyway, by the sounds of it. And the Austrian national team, it's not that good, is it really? But going into German football, it'll be a higher level of competitiveness for him. He's more likely to get found out, I think. Especially when they come up against Munich or someone, Dortmund and all these other decent German teams, it'll be very challenging for him. If he stayed at Leeds, he'd have an easy payday, wouldn't he? An easy chance to prove himself. He'd be able to cope with most of what the Championship has to throw at him. I think in the Bundesliga, that's a real test for him, isn't it? If he was that good, we wouldn't have. Is he part of the reason why we conceded so many goals in that second half of the season?
Well, he was part of the squad, wasn't he?
He was part of the starting 11 on many occasions, wasn't he?
Yep.
And everybody was talking him up. Is he one of these players that? And I mean, people are. I think we discussed this the other day that perhaps Nonto's overhyped. Was Woba one of those? And I think if we look back at the replays, I think we're probably going to find that Woba might not have been as good as everybody had hoped he'd been. But I mean, look, it's like this: you get him off the books. Hopefully, Mönchengladbach are going to pick up his salary. If we do get back to the Premier League next season, hopefully we'll be able to command a better asking price for him. And I mean, on the upshot of that is, if he does go to Mönchengladbach and he does prove himself, and they have a record-breaking season in terms of goals conceded, we can point to him and say, you know what, the reason why they conceded as few goals as what they did is because we sent them Max Woba. What we can do then, jack up the asking price. I think it's shrewd business that everybody's going mad at Orta, but in one way it's a good thing for us, and I think perhaps the 49ers, if they didn't agree with what Orta would have done, they'd have offloaded him as quickly as possible, got a reduced market value for him, not what because the market refuses to pay what we think is worth or what we've paid, and we have to think that, and we discussed this the other night, I think, Stu, didn't we, that we can only spend what we've got in the bank. Just because the 49ers are worth $6 billion doesn't mean we're going to get $6 billion to do transfer business with. That's not how it works at all. That's assets under management. And Leeds United now form a small part of that in percentage terms. So, you have to think about all of that business that was done under Marsh, the players that were brought in, the money that was spent, and think, was it Radrazani who actually financed that? And my suspicion is probably not, because Radrazani couldn't even get 24 million together to get to, or 35 million together to purchase Sampdoria.
I totally agree. Kerry.
Making sense, isn't it? I mean, it's all coming out in the wash that all of that. Everybody was going mental over the security of Ellard Road and la 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 la. The 49ers backed it, la 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 la. It would be interesting to find out, and I suspect that charge has probably been removed by now, because that Sampdoria deal. So I think, am I right in saying it's gone through? If it has, the charge will be removed, I'm pretty sure. So there we go. Michael, I'm actually in Indonesia at the moment. So yeah, apologies. I do look like I'm looking to the right, and what's happening is I've got a camera problem. So we're using the laptop camera at the moment.
Michael, his name's actually Gary, not Michael. I think it's because I called you Michael when I called when I was answering Michael's question. He thinks you call Michael and your name's Gary.
I'm Gary. Yeah. I don't know, Stu, but we could put like the names of us on. I don't know if we can do that or not, but usually it does.
Before we do, I'll just put something in the chat. This is a link to Gary's YouTube channel. So if you're in here and if you want to subscribe to him, it links in the description for you down below in the chat. So you want me to put let's do that, mate. Let's do that. Let's the settings.
I can do it if you want. Connect.
Yeah, do it for us, Gary, if you will, mate.
Hang on a second. I have to re-sign it in. I'm in on a new window here, so.
The Domatrori is not that good at all. I agree, Adam. Joe, that's the name of the person. Michael says, will Darlow start against Cardiff, as Elan is wanting to move away, but no club is coming in for him? I only want players who are committed to Leeds. I totally agree with that, Michael. Players who want away could sour the dressing room. I agree with that too.
Yeah,
I really do.
Oh, that's why. Shine a light. Oh God. Oh Christ! So I'm using my bloody work Google Chrome browser. Shit. Whoops.
How old is that Joel player? How old's that Joel player? I'll let you know now. Get that Joel Perong I think it's about 20, somewhat 26, I think. Something like that. So he's not old, but he's got a bit of he's got a few games under his belt. Adam, hope you're doing well, mate. Chilling, guys. Where's Lee? Come on, you Big Island. Lee's in chat. Lee's down here. There's Lee. Chilean. How old is that Joel guy? Joel is 28, Finland international. In Adam. Hiya, Harmonie, my lovely up. It's always good to see you, my love. I did leave a comment on the message you put in the other thing. So, yeah, everyone said hello to each other, which is good to see. Where am I? Lee, Hiya, Lee, mate. Hope you're doing well. Can't really stay long because I'm using my mobile data. Don't worry, Liam. Hope you're doing well, mate. Hope you're resting. Hope you're getting plenty of resting and having them nurses run round after you like your mum does at home for you. Bet you can't wait to get back, can you?
I'm just going into your channel, Stu, because there was something really, really interesting the other day, and it was on the Wilfred Nonto video that you made. I mean, you're cranking out that many videos, Stu. It's hard to know where to look to try and retrieve that video, but I seem to think it were a Wilfred Nonto video. Will Carl Darlow. So, I mean, and I'll tell you what, Stu, I really like your new thumbnails.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean they are a bit of class of them, you know. I'm really pleased with them. I'm very jealous.
I can do your thumbnails and send them to you.
Your thumbnail game is absolutely brilliant at the minute. I think it's really impressive, and it shows. You know what I enjoy doing, Stu, the most. One of the things I really enjoy is looking back in a channel over time to see how thumbnails have changed and stuff like that. And it's I mean it's fantastic. These new thumbnails are absolutely outstanding. I really think they are the bees and E's, Stu, and I think they'll help the channel accelerate. You know, so you're doing really well. Really good things there. I'm disgusted, says Stu in his thumbnail about Max Wober.
I was.
When was that Wilfred Nonto done then? Was that a day, 2 days ago? Ah, it's there. And I looked in the comment. Yeah, I looked in the comments, Stu, and there was a gentleman commented there, and it's Philip Pallen 4182. And it says, we have to try and keep Nonto. Yes, he's a mouthpiece, but what he needs is a manager to keep him under control. Someone like Revie or Wilco. He could rip the championship to pieces, and if others double up on him, it will leave more room for someone else. Nonto could be worth 40 million after a good season in the championship. Pirot will go to Southampton. It looks like we are skint. And this is something that I picked up on the other day, and I'll press the like button on it because I'm going to comment on it now because I thought, you know what, I really want to type a reply to this. We're not skint. But I think what we are is we're being incredibly shrewd in this transfer market. And I got the impression that, you know, if we think back to those signings of Marsh, it was Adams, McKennie, and Aronson, wasn't it? And those three joined the club really quickly. And it seemed a lot of money was spent. And it seemed to me like, you know, no one's done the due diligence about these players. It's just a case of they've had a decent World Cup, get them signed, and that's it. Without any consideration about, well, the World Cup's one thing, but what have they been doing in their respective domestic leagues? You know, I think the way that this Parath is operating is Farker's being given a very strict set of money or bunch of money, a strict budget that, you know, this is what we're going to make available for you. Do what you can with it, and let's see how we go. I think that it might be a case of, you know, we'll see probably a more active transfer window when the second one opens, and I think that is that in the winter, is it, Stu?
Yeah, January.
Yeah, so I don't think it's skint. I don't think it's that we're skint at all. He's been given the parameters, and I imagine that they're going to be quite strict parameters about salary, agents' fees, you know, any other additional expenses and costs involved in signing a player, as well as obviously how much we're prepared to pay each club, you know. And I mean, I can imagine that, you know, Parath's got some kind of rubric there that says, you know, if they're over this age, we spend this much. Is a studious mathematician, is Parath. And for those who don't know, we spoke about Parath a while ago on a live stream. and we were talking about his analytical skills. He's got degrees in accountancy and all this other sort of stuff. He's a very highly respected person in his profession and area of expertise. So I imagine that he's got some kind of formula about signing players, and he's told Farker that more or less this is what we want you to operate with to start with. Now, look, we can make more available, but we're going to see how we go and what the chances are of success based on what we have. Now, the other thing as well is Farker has probably been told about the academy, those younger teams, the players that we've got. And we can, I mean, Stu and I were, if you go back through those live streams, the amount of weeks I was saying, we need to put Giabi in, we need to put in a couple of these younger lads, a couple of fresher faces, people who know the club, who've been in and about the club for a few years. Get these people in and blood them now. But you see, Orta didn't allow that. He just literally got whatever he could, shove them out on loan, and then we can bring in some of Jesse's, favorite American friends or whatever it is. Now, I'm not trying to say that they're absolutely terrible. Tyler Adams was amazing for us. If he wants to go and we get 20 million for him, is he worth 20 million, Stu? But you see, go on, off you go.
I'm finding it very difficult to answer that because let's be honest, Gary. What we've got to remember is he were injured for majority of the second part of the season.
Yeah,
he hasn't had a full season at Leeds United.
No.
Now, what I would say is when he was in the team, we were out at relegation places. We were pretty clear at relegation places. When he picked up his injury, that's when we started sliding down the table. But do I think he's a world class player? Absolutely not. Do I think if we get 20 million, I think it's worth. I think Leeds will have done good business if we get 20 million for Tyler Adams at this moment in time. Personally.
Yeah. Will we cover our costs on that then?
Did it cost us 25 million or something? Was it 25 million we paid for him?
I can't remember just how much we allegedly paid for him, but I think it was a decent amount. And where did he come from? Because I can't remember myself. There's that much going. It's like a merry-go-round, isn't it? I always say it's the great glass revolving door at the moment with Leeds United and players in, players out, everything like that. It's madness, isn't it? So trying to keep up with all of this stuff is just.
Well, we signed him from RB Leipzig, didn't we?
Leipzig, yeah. I thought it was Leipzig.
We signed him for 17 million.
17. We make a small bit on him, but I don't want him to go. I think it'd be brilliant for us if we could get him back fit. But it's the Tyler Adams effect, like you say. When we were without him, goals per game went up. We started losing a lot more. He was covering, I think I'm right in saying, maybe 13 kilometers, 14 kilometers a game. For those in old money, it's about nearly probably between 7-8 mile per game.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And that's a lot, and that's what we had him in there for. But the effect that he had with when we were without him is the same effect that Millwall suffered from without Creswell.
Yeah.
It just shows the difference that two players can make in an overall performance of a team and the outcome in the season. It's phenomenal, isn't it? So we've got a few comments coming in, Stu. I can't. Do you want to give a couple of these a highlight?
Yep. And I'm getting onto this comment before I had to read this comment out. I'm just thinking, Michael, Gary, £20 million in Championship. How far could we make that stretch? Whereas this is where Michael's gone on. Leicester have sold Madison for 40 million and Barnes for 38 million. Southampton have had have a £40 million price tag on James Ward-Prowse and 50 million on the rated Belgian midfielder Romeo Latvia. Well, Liverpool have had their bid rejected today as well.
Latvia,
Compared to what Leeds are doing. Yeah, this is why I think we need to, because we've six players, six players gone out on loan. And there's very little money coming in. I think the only bit of money we've had coming from a transfer is Rodrigo at £3 million. So if we can get 20 million for Adams, invest that into another central defensive midfielder, and have some money left over to bring in I don't know. You put some money towards the attacker value. The attacker budget. What Farker's got might be able to improve the front the goal scoring as well. So I think for £20 million, I'd sell it. I'd let him go. I would.
Sorry, I'll just go in on that. I think he's worth a lot more than that, Stu. But you see, the thing is, don't worry about it, Michael. It's fine. I think the thing is Leeds have over the years, right? We've got a terrible track record when it comes to transfers, haven't we? About letting players go on the cheap, paying over the top for players coming in. I think it just beggars belief, but we are in a position, or we should financially now be in a position where we can say, you know what, we're not going to let you go unless we really get a good offer in for you. We want you to stay, and we're going to, the salary cut, we're not going to apply it on your contract, and I think that would be a better way, an out for Leeds, where if they want the players to remain, get rid of that salary cut, because apparently it was between 50 and 60% for some players. That we can't. Can we really afford to let these guys go? And I mean, 20 million. That's not going to buy you an English player who's any good.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. And this is the thing with English players; they all seem to have overinflated price tags. I mean, Maddison's injury record isn't an oil painting, is it? It's not great. Harvey Barnes, I think he's had a couple of niggling knocks and stuff. So it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. But you see, when you're dealing in a market, if let's say we have 3 or 4 top clubs coming in for him, we can start a bit of a bidding war and say, right, whoever wants him, he's up for sale. Highest price gets the prize. And that's it. The market dictates what the value of the player's worth. Now, I mean, Liverpool, massive, massive club, bounds of cash, Champions League winners and all this other stuff. I mean, we talk about ourselves being a big club, and I said this to Stu. We're not a big club. Financially, we just don't have the clout, or we haven't had the clout over the years to be able to compete with these bigger sides. Yeah. We're always kind of relying on undiscovered gems, something coming up through the youth ranks. Great when that kind of thing happens. I mean, look at Leicester back in the day. They pulled Jamie Vardy out of nowhere, shot him straight into the England team. And he ripped up the Premier League that season that Ranieri were in charge. So, I always say that there's loads of undiscovered gems out there, English players, but they never get picked up. We're always spending money overseas. We're looking at in this country, that country, etc. If we are on such a tighter budget, because cash flow is an important thing, we don't want to be going to the bank cap in hand like the Ridsdale days, and we shouldn't have to do that.
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Ian, subscribe to your channel.
Cheers, Ian. Thanks very much. Much appreciated. Anybody who presses that sub button, it's always really nice. How do I pronounce that? Killian, is it? Is it Killian or Killian?
Chilean Kenny. He's a good long time no see, Lee.
Yeah.
I subbed Gaz, another one who subbed to your channel.
Cheers, Chilean. Yeah, thank you. On FIFA game. Let's have a look at that. On FIFA game, if anyone wants to leave, if we got relegated, I would let them leave and make a new team. It's a bit more complicated than a FIFA game, though, isn't it? I mean, we're dealing with real money here. It's I mean, I used to play those sort of. I don't know about you, Stu. I used to play Football Manager games, and I mean, I had a Commodore 64 going back in the day, and people of a certain age will know what I'm talking about. You know,
what the tape deck thing where you put a tape
a
into
cassette,
the game.
yeah, a cassette, yeah, it were a cassette, and was it a cassette? It might have had a floppy drive on it, but I know one of my friends had a Spectrum, and you know, we used to play these managerial games, and I'm like, you'd literally be like, you know, oh, we're in the season 2082 now, 2083 or something, something daft like that, and you know, David Beckham's like 110-year-old. Something daft like that, and then it's literally just plucking all these players' names up and stuff, and it was so funny back. You know, what am I going to spend? Oh, I've got about 300 million in bank. What am I going to? I know what I'll do. I'll just build a new stadium, shall I? you build like a Wembley or a San Siro or something like that. Always a bit of fun, those games. Oh, dear me. Happy days. Good to have a reminisce, isn't it?
Can one day you get me on the video team videos, because I have got learning disabilities too. Of course, Adam. I'll get in contact with you, mate. Don't you worry. Do you think the new Leeds players who Bielsa, Marsh, etc., haven't been given a proper chance to? You have never had a settled squad for 3 seasons.
Yeah, we spoke about this a while ago, didn't we? That it makes you wonder if in training, like, you know, these are the Bielsa players, these are the Marsh players. Gracia, there was nothing, and these are the Farker players. And is it a case of they're all kind of staying in their own banded little group? Are they going to? His name is not Parath.
It's Parag
Marath. Yeah. Parag Marath. I said Marath, didn't I? Or did I say Parath? Maybe I just conjugated his name, Hermione, you know, out of nowhere. That seems to be the trending thing to do, doesn't it? If you don't know something, just throw a few letters together.
Like I do.
Just throw a few letters together and see what.
Honestly, Gary, what the people don't realise, right? I've never. The only books I picked up were Biff books at school. I've never picked up a reading book in my life. I've never read a book. So Silla's laughing her head off in there. She'll tell you, I've never read a book ever. I've done more reading on this channel than I ever have.
Yeah, Stu, I'll tell you, reading is good for the soul, mate. It is really good for the soul, and pick up any kind of book about. I mean, like, think of your favorite sports personality. They've all got books, Stu. They're a good read as well. Some of them, and you'll learn a lot of stuff reading. You'll learn a lot of stuff. I mean, I'm literally reading every day. Teaching, I've got to read. So it's a great thing to do. But I mean, me with my conjugation of our chairman, our great leader, our esteemed leader at Elland Road. Let me get this right. Parag. Did I say that right? Marath. Is it Parag Marath or Marag Parath? Or do I just blend it, just mix a few letters up and hope for the best? Well done for correcting me, Hermione. Thank you very much. It's always noted. it's always good to know that you've got the back of the disabled team and the associated people. So thank you, Hermione.
Well, there's a picture of her down there on the bottom of my thumbnail with everyone who's involved. That's
I can see
Harmonie.
her. Yeah.
She's brilliant as Harmonie. Me and
I'll
her
tell you
have
what,
a very good
she's got a very good knowledge of the game as well.
She has.
And probably better knowledge than a lot of us, I think.
Better knowledge than me, I tell you.
She knows a lot of stuff very, very quickly, and studious. I think it'd be interesting to meet these people in real life. Go for a bit of something to eat or a drink or something like that.
Well, me and Harmonie are teetotal, so we'd have to go on Coca-Cola or orange
Well,
juice.
Coca-Cola would be fine by me. Stu, cup of tea and a biscuit. That I'm happy with that. You know me, plenty of tea during the stream. Yes, next one. Tyler Adams was at Leipzig, but he wasn't a regular in the first team. I mean, that's amazing, isn't it? If Marsh was managing Leipzig, how was he not picking Tyler Adams back then? The window doesn't close until September the 1st. We will bring in at least 3 signings. I think so. These are 2 players that we've not mentioned yet, Stu. Nat Phillips and Kamara. And apparently,
I love the look of Kamara. I do. I like the look of Glenn Kamara. I think he's got something about him. Played in Premier League for that with Arsenal. Went to Scotland, learned a bit of trade for Scottish football for Rangers. I think he'd be an instant hit at Leeds.
Yeah, a good fit for us, I think. So yeah, I mean,
definitely.
I'd back that. Nat Phillips, not someone I'm too familiar with. I don't think he's had much in terms of appearance at Liverpool. Yeah, over how long?
Well, they were on loan at Fulham when Fulham got promoted. Fulham, I think it was Fulham. He were or at Bournemouth. It might have been Bournemouth. He were on loan at one of the newly promoted teams, and he helped them get promoted. The problem is with him at Liverpool trying to break in, trying to knock Virgil van Dijk off, or back then, who else did he have? Kanote and stuff off the squad. Yeah. I think it's very difficult for him. That's why I think he just didn't get much game time at Liverpool.
They've spent a lot of money as well, haven't they, Liverpool, so far this transfer window, Stu?
Yeah.
And I think have they brought a defender in as well? I think that is the guy with the unpronounceable name.
Yes.
That all the Liverpool fans are. Hey, matey, don't know what it. How do I say that name?
Just call him by his first name, I think. Yeah, right. Michael Brown says Leeds can sell Somerville and Nonto for high fees as they have no relegation clauses. Harrison has a relegation clause of about 20 million.
Out of the 3, who would you want to ship off, Stu? If you had to say you keep one, you keep 2, but one of them's got to go because we need to make room. I mean, we've got so many wingers in our side.
I've said this many times. I would happily let Nonto go.
Yeah,
I really would. I think Nonto. I think the problem is with Nonto. The Leeds fan base praised him up so much. You know what I mean? And I just don't think he's quite that player what we all think he is.
I mean, it's the goal against Man United that's literally put him in the history books, isn't it? That he's going to go down as a legend because he went in and thumped one past De Gea at Old Trafford. I personally, and it might be a bit controversial, this, I think out of the 3, I'd let Harrison go. And for reasons of, he's a little bit older than the other 2. Probably a little bit less hungry to be back in the Championship. And, this business of loyalty that everybody sits there and talks about. Back in January, he was on the training ground at Leicester with Brendan Rodgers. A few weeks later, they've got him signing a 5-year deal or whatever it is, and he's coming out saying, I want to make history and all this other mumbo jumbo. Is his heart in it for Leeds United? And I don't think we've seen much of Jack Harrison over the
He's injured.
Pre-season. He's injured, isn't he? But yes. I seem to think there was something on Twitter that he showed up in Tokyo over his holiday. I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure there was something about him in Tokyo on Twitter with the missus. So I don't know. Is his heart in it for Leeds United? I mean, do we know the nature of the injury, Stu? I've not heard anything. No,
not to hand. Is it hamstring? I think. Let's have a look.
Hamstring. Yeah.
Let's have a look.
It must have been in the final week or whatever it is. Danny LUFC Rumsey's coming as well, Stu. So we're going to get through some of these comments as well, and a couple of other. Ian is there, Lee and Adam, I think, have also put something in there. Nat Phillips is outstanding and will only cost 15 million. I mean, I think if we're getting a Liverpool player, and he's got that kind of track record that you're talking about, that would be good business for us.
I think so.
And certainly, it gives us extra options at the back when we need them. And it's going to be a demanding season, Stu. 46 games. It's going to be a physically demanding season. We're going to some bloody awful grounds where injuries can happen and all this sort of thing. And we're going to need a squad that can cope. That if one player gets injured, it's not a big deal. We've got plenty of options. If we've got 15 million available, get the checkbook out, Mr. Chairman. I'm playing it safe now, aren't I? Get the checkbook out and get him bought, because that's definitely been an area of huge concern as that defence. The other one is Firpo. I mean, he's still hanging on in there, isn't he? And nobody's talking about him.
I don't think many clubs have. I don't think they've received any bids for him. To be honest,
no
one's come looking for him.
There's no. Well, wasn't it Betis a few weeks ago?
You wanted to loan him, didn't you?
But I think we're out on loan positions now, aren't we? We can't. I don't think. Can we? Are we at the situation now where we can't loan anybody out now to Europe?
Yeah.
We literally have to sell them. So I don't know. I mean, Firpo, that game against Newcastle, and it was like, I don't know, a man possessed. But it probably cost. I mean, everybody talks about Bamford and that. He's one of the reasons that we didn't get 3 points out of that game. In my point, Spectrum ZX. That's it. Yeah, I remember those things, man. Yeah. Stop it! You're killing me. She's a stunner. Oh my god. Thank you. Right, let's have a look at this. We will only sign 1 or 2 players before the window shuts. It takes us 2 weeks to sign them. Yeah. Danny, this is one thing Stu and I were talking about, that getting a player in isn't an easy process, is it? You first having to get permission from the club, then you get permission from the club, you're having to get the agent, then the agent's having to go talk to the player. The player then takes a few days to mull it over. That message gets passed back to the agent, back to the club to the buying club. All of that stuff takes time, and then when you do get an agreement, then you've got, right, okay, it's a good deal, we're going to get it on, everybody's going to get a payday out of it, let's get the contracts signed up. Oh, hang on a minute, how long's it going to take? Oh, well, Michael, who does the contracts for us, is away on holiday. Right, great, wait another week for him, he comes back a week. Right, oh yeah, give us 5 days, it's another 5 working days, I'll get the contract written up. Blah, 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 blah. 2 weeks, 2 weeks at a minimum. I hope I hope that we're just in the situation where, you know, a lot of this stuff is going on quietly in the background. There's no leaks. People in and about the club have very little to go off. And you know, let's just hope that we do get these players in, especially in the positions where we are a little bit weak. Defence has to be a top priority, I think, because I think going forward, you know, we still need a centre forward. We still need a centre forward, I think, and Bamford isn't the answer for me. I'm afraid he's not going to get us 20 goals this season, and I'm not so sure about Joseph. Apparently, you know, from what I'm hearing, yeah, he's had a good season, but is he going to get the goals that we need? Glenn Kamara can play multiple positions. Nat Phillips will be a decent centre back. He's very tall, so good for set pieces. Yeah, I think I agree with that. Stu's flashing through a few messages here, some other good messages. Stu, off you go.
Harmonie says the new pool signing is very sharp and it cuts in and out efficiently. They should call him Stanley.
Yeah.
Danny says we have more wingers than 4 rutters on a rutter a wing, Provider a wing, Costa a wing, winner.
Yeah. It's insane to think how many wingers we've got, and then I seem to think I'm sure I saw some sort of gossip the other day that we're going to sign so and so, blah 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 blah. Oh, and you get through the report, and yeah, he's really good on the right wing, and I'm like, oh, for Christ's sake, don't sign a frigging winger.
We don't need no more. Oh, Harrison, it's his hip, by the way.
Hip, right? Thanks, hip Danny. Injury. Thanks for that, Danny. Yeah, good job.
Harrison went at the start of the transfer window. No, he's still at Leeds, Ian.
Still at Leeds, buddy. Yeah, it was almost over the line, that, Ian. Him and Brendan Rodgers were on the training pitch apparently, and it was all going to go through. And then the rumor went round that it was all off. Suddenly, it was all off, and nobody knew why. And it kind of emerged that the 49ers intervened. Orta and Radrazani were going to get rid of him, Harrison, by the sounds of it. But they've got, you know, they had the 44%, whatever it was, ownership at that time. And, you know, they must have objected and said, look, you keep him on the books and that's it, or you're going to cause problems. And, by the way, you're going to lower the valuation of the club if you get rid of Jack Harrison, Andrea. So he's going nowhere. Tough negotiations, isn't it? Go on.
Adam says, I think we should sell Harrison, Firpo and Bamford.
Yeah.
Nonso needs to go back to a nursery school and learn how to grow up. Sulky and reactive, like Stu. Hey? I think he is a petulant child throwing his toys out of his pram. Cheers, Harmonie. Thank you very much, my lovely.
I know. I know.
For a centre back, if they're not going to spend the same price for Peru.
Yeah. Difficult one, isn't it? Leeds United should get better players in my opinion. The thing is, Harvinder, we're in a situation where we're in the Championship. You know, we're going to struggle to attract big name players. We're not going to be able to spend. We probably have some kind of monetary restriction on what we can spend. We probably think that Parath has set guidelines to Farker and said, look, these are the parameters that you're going to have to work within. Nothing too crazy, and that's it. We've already taken a hit, and those gambles on those Marsh signings, they're not paying off. Apart from I think Nonto, but you see, the thing is, was Marsh responsible for any of those signings? I don't think he was. I think it's probably ought to. Who's any good in the American squad? Oh well, these 3 players are all right, and one of them I used to work. Used to play under me, and la la la. Right, leave it with me. I'll go get them, and that's it. Silly money was spent. Rutte, unbelievable amounts of money, no track record. And I think Harmonie, you can close your ears at the moment because I'm going to say something, a bad word. We've pissed a lot of money up against the wall. Right, you can take your ears out, Harmonie.
Yeah, we have.
Haven't we?
We have.
It is absolutely frightening how much has been spent. I seem to think it was about 119 million or something like that over the last 12 months, something like that. Stu and I discussed the other day that, we've got these investors coming in, 49ers. We're adding these sports personalities who are throwing money into the club, blah, 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 into the pot. And there's something that a lot of people don't realise is this, that these investors at some point are going to want a return on their investment. So how is that going to work? Apparently 11 of them were signed off by the EFL. And if they're putting in 10 million apiece, it's 110 million investment into Leeds. Yeah. Where is the money coming from, and how much are they realistically expecting that investment to return? And how long is that investment likely to be? Is it a 1 year investment? Is it indefinite? Is it a 5-year investment? There's a massive money. There are massive money questions still behind Leeds United that a lot of us, because it's is it a syndicate? Would you call it, or it's not a syndicate? It's a consortium. How are these guys going to get a payday? Guys and girls, of course, or he, she, and it, they, them, and all this other stuff, whatever they want to call themselves, fine by me. But my point is they've put the money in. How much are they expected that investment to grow? And are they allowed to pull that investment at any time? And at what time? And can the club dictate to them, well, hang on a minute, you've put 10 million in 3 years, it'll be worth 20 million. Right? So you're going to double your money in 3 years. Have they said that? The business dealings, the business side of stuff, we're not going to get to find anything out about that. But I would be, I'd love to be a fly on the wall to see what's going on in the boardroom and how the club is being run. As long as it's being run better and there are checks and balances, and I think that's what Parath is bringing in now, that there are checks and balances at different levels, and hang on a minute, you can't go spending this much. It's going to put us under strain, under pressure. Whereas Ottawa throwing pound notes about willy-nilly with no sort of due diligence, no checks and balances. And Radrazani, it sounds to me like just let him get away with it.
Let him do what he
get on with
do.
it. I'm too busy. You're the man at the helm, and I'm absent, and the money's in the bank. You need it, go get it. Transfer it, do whatever you need to do. So there's more organisational structure in the club now, and I think that's one of the things that, we were discussing this yesterday, Stu and I, off air, and I think we need to be thankful that there is that kind of structure in it, and the chairman's going to be a little bit hands off, but he's there for any big decisions that need signing off on. Right, Hammond says, we need 20 mil. We want this player. It's 20 mil plus X, Y, Z. Totals this much. Everybody's in agreement. We've all had meetings, and this is the personnel, the man for the job in that specific position. Can we have the budget? Chairman says, no problem. Give me 30 minutes. It's over. It's there. So much better from us. I think It's going to take a while. Danny says that we're going to get 1 or 2 players. I'd be happy with that. I think I'd be happy with that. See how we go till the second transfer window, then we can identify areas of weakness, areas where we might be a bit light. By then, we'll have no doubt a full clinic of injuries. Physios are going to be very, very busy people. And, more horse trading has to be done later down the line. Stu?
Yep, I totally agree with you. We had, like it says, had this conversation off air, and I'm glad we've been run like this, Gary. Do you know what I mean? It looks like with Parag, it looks like we're gonna be a well-oiled ship, and we're gonna be run properly. Yeah, we might not like that. We're only spending like 400,000 on Kyle Darlow and stuff like that. We want to see big money, but what we also have to remember is we're a championship side at this moment in time, and we just simply cannot. I call it the FFP, but it's called profit and sustainability testing. They've got to balance the books. And I think this is why we should be grateful that we've got someone of Parag's experience in the club as chairman, definitely.
And is big in the sports and media world in the 49ers and these kinds of things. I mean, it's good that they're running a tight ship. We have to be shrewd. We have to be very wise. We've been reckless. But as long as the club remains in the black, not in the red, we shouldn't have too much of a problem, I don't think. And the league can see that we're not having to go to the bank cap in hand for a 50 million loan based on fresh air, which is what Ridsdale was doing pretty much. The air inside the East Stand is fantastic. Give us 50 million quid or 100 million quid or whatever it was, and suddenly awards everybody with like 150% pay rises for literally nothing. Because until Ridsdale came in, we were fairly well run, but he had all these ambitions of glamour and all that stuff. I mean, we all know what happened there, but let's move on, Stu. Let's not depress ourselves.
I'll catch up with some comments. Ryan Atkins, great to see you in chat, Ryan. There are one more. There's one more international loan spot, I think. Bring some players in. Wish it were that simple, Lavinda. Joseph and Bamford.
Yeah, just stop there, Stu. International players. Does that mean it's European players, or does it mean it's players internationally? From outside, from rest of the world. And I think if it is international, then there's not a lot we can do about that. We just have to be. I think we use the allocation if we need to make those signings. The extra signing. I mean, I think is it. I seem to think it was a 40-man squad you can enter. Is that right? I heard that it was 40-man squad. I mean, I might be wrong on that. Is it? Yeah. So, as long as we're working in those parameters and we're not going to end up like an Everton with a 15-point deduction.
Hopefully.
I mean, the Premier League are being very slow about that, and they're being very coy. I think there's a lot more to the Premier League than some meet the eye, and I think they've literally ordered us to get relegated this season because Everton have got a new stadium. And we don't want to upset the Evertonians, do we? Because we know what will happen.
Yeah. So Adam says sell Joseph and Bamford. Danny says we aren't getting a strike. We aren't getting a striker. Bamford will when fit will score. It's always been adamant about that, as Danny. To be fair, he thinks that Danny Bamford will. So Avinder's also is a Bradford City fan, as well as a Man City fellow. Gary's funny. Michael Brown.
Go on,
Gary.
Go ahead. You've got to try and have a laugh, haven't you? You've got to try and have a laugh. You've got to try and not take it too seriously, not sort of get, because it's been a calamity, hasn't it, over the last 12 months. It's been a complete disaster. And I think the 49ers have come in at the right time. If what was happening had been going on any longer, and we were still with Radrazani going into this new campaign, I'd just be thinking we are in a real mess. And I think the 49ers, I would be right in saying they've literally saved the day and saved the club from a complete implosion. Interesting, Danny backs Bamford. Interesting. I all I can say about it is, and I said this earlier, I think he'd be better off getting a move. He's had that much stick at Leeds. It's been a really upsetting time for him and his family and all this sort of stuff. I mean, the guy can't go out anywhere in and around Leeds. He has to go somewhere else where he's not recognised. It must be absolute hell for him, because there are literally people out there thinking it's a good idea to give him death threats, him and his family and all. It's unacceptable. It really is. But we have to accept that this kind of toxicity exists not only in our club, but in other clubs as well. That there are people so die hard about their club that they feel it necessary. I mean, I'm upset as the next person, but I mean, Christ Almighty, the sun will set, it'll rise tomorrow, and Leeds United are still there. We're still in business. We've still got a team. Things are improving. We've lost 2 friendly games. We've won 2 friendly games, and in the last 2 games, things are slowly starting to come together now. So it's a patience game, isn't it, for Leeds fans, Stu? Football isn't Instagram. We can't have it here and now. Getting to the level required is going to take some time to go on and win this league. I mean, we all watched the Bielsa years when we won that championship. My God, didn't that feel good? And I said to you, we were debating, is the result important? And against Forest, yeah, I think the result is important. Against Hearts, the result is important. Why is it important? Because we've had such a shambolic end to that Premier League season. You've got players probably going into that friendly period thinking, low on confidence. We're not that good. We're not as good as we think we are. We've been beaten here, there, and everywhere, and we got pumped by Tottenham, and we're relegated. And it's a long time since Leeds fans saw a win. But the disappointing thing is we didn't have a pre-season friendly at home. And I know a lot of Leeds fans are really disappointed by that they didn't open up Ellen Road and we had a friendly at home, which I think would have been great, to put a decent side out and to see, if they can be tested, that it's going to be a hard match, bring one of these foreign teams over, Valencia or a Spanish team, something like that. That would have been perfect to finish off the pre-season. But you see, with all of these changes at the top, the club hasn't been able to commit to any of that because we don't know what the situation is, or we haven't known what the situation is, and all of it got sorted out in the last minute by the look of it, and there's been no or very poor planning, and all of this I think is thanks to the takeover. But onwards and upwards, Stu. We can't change the past, and I think we're going in the right direction. I still think that with a couple of signings, I think we can win this championship. You?
I agree with you. And just adding on that, a bit of good news is Leeds are in the race with West Brom, Cardiff and Watford for that Sorry Cabba. He's a player who Leeds have been looking at in past. We're actually, so we are making moves in transfer window. The only negative is we had a loan loan bid rejected from Manchester City for Rico Lewis. But I think if you break into the first team at Man City, it's going to be very difficult to price one of their players away, especially out on loan.
I mean, Pep is a wheeler dealer, but he's another guy that has. We talk about like lines, and rubrics and stuff like that. And look at Gundogan, had a terrific season, and he's offloaded Gundogan. Yeah. And why has Pep done that? It's his age. It's his age, and apparently the rumor is that Pep is quite strict about over 30s. He doesn't like too many over 30s in his squad, and when you start nearing that age, he sees that you past your peak, and unless you're exceptional, you're on your way. You're on your way. So I think did I see something that David Silva had retired a couple of days ago as well? I don't know. Maybe I missed that. Maybe chat knows something about that.
I think he wanted it. I think he the David Silva of Man City.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he wants to move, doesn't he? He wants to move away or something.
I thought I'd seen that he's retired. But anyway, let's move on. There are some gems in the lower league. Leeds got Ben White from Peterborough. No one had heard of him. Yeah, I like Leeds to go for Connor Chaplin of Ipswich Town. One top scorer, 26 goals last season. Good shout, Michael. Yeah, I mean, when we talk about knowledge in the game, some of the stuff Michael tells me in the streams, when I've seen him in the streams, it's incredible. I'm like, Christ almighty. It's a learning experience for everybody, I tell you. We got Ben White on loan. Yeah, go back to that one, Stu. Hermione, I think, from Brighton. The season before that, he'd been loaned out to Peterborough. Yeah, year before, loaned out to Newport. I mean, what an amazing rise to the top for Ben White. I mean, I'd have loved him to stay at Leeds because I thought he was brilliant. I thought he was really, really solid, talented player for us. But, the bigger clubs come circling, and what are they going to do?
Well, we tried, didn't we, to be fair? We bid up to 45 million and Brighton said no.
Brighton said no, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Liam's doing good. Liam's doing good. Avinder, he's got a stomach ulcer. That's what's been causing him a lot of problems. Yeah. I heard Mbappe to Chelsea on loan. Just the rumour news. I think it's rumour. Can't see him going to Chelsea on loan.
No. I mean, he'll literally want half of the actual area of Chelsea to be thrown into the deal, won't he? I'm sure Abramovich has got a few quid still hanging around in London, but that nobody knows about. Nobody's going to buy him. His wage demands are too high for other clubs. Who's this? We're discussing. This is from a little while ago, isn't it? Is this Bamford?
Yeah, I think that's yeah. I think so. I think you'll let me know. I'm going. Even Darlington can afford £8 a week and a £2 top man voucher, Danny. Cresswell signed a new contract. Yeah, we touched on that at the start of the podcast.
We opened.
Went to Spain.
Yeah, we opened the podcast with that break it because it's literally when we started. It's like literally about 20 minutes before we started. They'd done that, so. Yes, he has retired from football. He's in his what? Sorry, I missed that. Yeah, Bamford. Sorry about that's it. Retired from football is his late 30s. Real Sociedad. Yeah, there you go. You see, I'm sure I saw something about that. He were a fantastic player for them, wasn't he? Great player though. But you see, it's like us and Pablo, innit? How much did we love Pablo Hernandez? Similar sort of thing. Great player. I mean, if we could get another Pablo Hernandez, that'd be great, wouldn't it? If we could find someone like him. I just feel sorry for Bamford. Yeah, he's got a lot of sympathy from us. So yeah, it's sad. It's a sad story for Patrick Bamford. I mean, if he does go, I'll be sad to see him go. But you just wish him well and hope that he does that things change for him. I just think this last 12 months have been horrendous for him. When you're a striker, you're more in the spotlight, aren't you? You know, you miss a chance, and you know it's one chance. You start missing them consistently. People start getting a little bit, you know. You start losing the support of the fans and stuff like that. It's a divisive subject, isn't it? I mean, there are Leeds fans out there backing Patrick Bamford. There are some that absolutely hate him, and there are other people like me who are like, well, you know, it is what it is. It's confidence. It's he's not good enough. Whatever it is, you know, is he going to be the man to get us 20 goals this season? Unbelievable. It's
disgusting.
You know, yeah. I don't wish any harm on any of the players. I think
No.
to do that kind of thing, and I mean, I've seen a lot of we watch Stu and I watch a lot of other streams, and some of the stuff that's said about Bamford, you know, it's not on. It's not on. I don't wish any harm on him or illness or ill health on him or anything like that. I just think that, you know, with the way he's been treated, spoken about by a lot of the fan base, or a good percentage of them, is it time for the sake of his own career, his own mental and physical health, that he might be better somewhere else? You know, he might be better off somewhere else. And I mean, if his pay demand is, I mean, I've seen other channels talking about, I'm not going to mention names, but they're talking 70 grand a week. And then let's say it's a 50% pay cut because we're down in the championship. You know, it's 35 grand, isn't it? Is he then prepared to take a further pay cut just so he gets himself some first team football? But the injury record now means that getting somebody who's got interest in Patrick Bamford is going to be a tall order. And we talked about this before, Stu, and I said, you know what, Patrick Bamford would be ideal at somewhere like Luton or one of these other newly, not Burnley, possibly Sheffield. Is it Sheffield United gone up this time, isn't it? I think, yeah. Luton, Sheffield United, he'd work wonders for them. I think someone like that with that experience in football he'd be an idea. And you know, if he signed up for one of them and he'd knocked 20 goals in for them, good on him. You know, he has an injury-free season. It's like a clean slate, isn't it? A fresh start, clean slate. And I think I don't know. Do Leeds United deserve Patrick Bamford? That's the other thing. Do Leeds United deserve Patrick Bamford after the years that he's put in for us? And I'm not so sure we do. I think it's probably if a move came in for him, someone moved in for him. I'd just say, look, you know, we think it's probably a good time, and this is a right move for your career, and we're recommending that, Patrick, you take it. Oh, the Patrick Bamford debate rages on. We are going to cook in the league now if we keep it. Sinny. I know.
Yeah, I think he's a good player. Really good player.
Yeah. And he's come out, hasn't he, and said somewhere along the lines that he's wanting to stay and prove himself. And, you know, he's another one, isn't he, with he's had a bit of a rough time with injuries and stuff like that. But I still think we're yet to see the best of Sinisterra. We are yet to see the best of Sinisterra. And I think this season, if he gets a run in that side, and he's protected, example, you know, 60 minutes in with 3 or 4 goals up, there's no danger of us completely folding, you know.
Take him off.
Take him off. Take him off. You don't need to be out there anymore. You've got a couple of goals. Brilliant. That's all we can ask. Or tell you what, Lewis, City, you've got another 5 minutes to get your hat trick. If you don't get it next 5 minutes, you're coming off.
Yeah,
You know,
I
he
agree.
needs to be protected like that. Him, Nonto. Harrison would be another one. Somerville would be another one. But I mean, with the good thing is, Stu, we're starting to say that, you know, we've got options, and we could still blood a couple of lads from the development squads. McGurk. I mean, I've seen McGurk play a
Yelder.
few times. Huh?
Yelder.
Yelder, yeah. McGurk.
He's
Elder.
really good, really impressive.
There's still a lot of talent in that development squad. So, you know, we've still got options. Still a bit of time for us. I'm in what? I missed that.
I'm in chat in your stream and take care. Yeah, take care of Vinda. He's one of Lee's school friends. We used to go to school with Lee. Did Vinda? You still there, Gary? Oh, Gary's froze. Gary's froze. Bless it. Right. What fans don't realise is that he's still got 4 years left on his contract, and the fans said pay him off. It will cost more for us to do that. I agree with that, Danny. I do. I don't know if have I froze or am I still on screen? With Windows waving. Future stream as well, boys, and bye for now. I will be on the stream. No worries, Avinda, and on chat and bye. He even needs to go to PT on a non-league or retire. Sadly, his body's broken. Gary will be back. All good, Stu. Cheers, Danny. Well, the last thing I wanted to touch on before we started to end his first podcast, well, is we've got 7 players, including Adams and Harrison, who are a doubt for the opening game against Cardiff. If Rutier and Bamford are missing, who do we play up top? Now, we can't play Dan James at top again. I don't believe we can. I think we might have to push Sinisterra more forward, would you say? I'm not sure. I'm stuck on who to play up top if we are missing Rutier and Bamford. I mean, could Joseph do a job up top? You know, I mean, as far as I'm aware, Joseph's a wing. He plays on wing, doesn't he? And he comes in. He comes in off at wing, and where he's most dangerous at. I wonder if I'm hoping that we can all play. I'd love to know in chat who you would love to see play up top. It's a toss up between Sinisterra, Nonto. Could you trust Nonto? I don't know if Nonto will be right. There we go. I think be Joffrey, but he's not a striker. I want Joseph. I think Joseph. I'd like to see Joseph Danny. I think the problem with that with Geltard is he didn't take his chances. I don't think in pre-season friendlies like Paveda did. Paveda grasped his chance and he took him. Whereas I don't think StreamYard stopped on your end, I think, Gary. Got to go Joffrey or Joseph. Yeah, I don't know. I'd sooner give Joseph a chance than Joffrey. And Alonso's too small. He is too small. You're right. He is. Let's be honest. I wish. Has anybody seen Joseph go down middle? I'm not sure. Have you got link to log back on again, Gary, or do you need me to send you it again? And none so too small. Yeah, well, look, I'll give Gary a couple of minutes to come back. If he can't get back on, I will end the stream. We've talked about everything I wanted to discuss in this podcast. Now, I hope you've enjoyed it out there. I really do. It's something I've been looking forward to doing for quite some time. And the thing is, trying to get Gary on and Russell on at the same time. Gary's in Indonesia, and Russell at this thing in UK is working, so it's very difficult to get them all on at the same time. Yeah, he's played down the middle for the under 21s. Good. Frankie says, thank you for the stream, Stu. It's been a good one. I'm glad that you've enjoyed it, Frankie. That means a lot to us. It really does. So yeah, I think Gary's internet's gone down. So look, guys, what we're going to do is we'll wrap it up there. Thank you, Alan. Oh, right. Since his internet's gone off, Alan, I'll wait for you, Gary. I'll wait for you, mate. Yeah, I'll wait for you, mate. He's itching to get back on his Gary. Yeah. But yeah, look. So we've discussed the kick. We've discussed. We've discussed the situation with Rico Lewis being the loan bid being rejected. Do you think we could prize Rico Lewis away from Man City? Because I don't. I think if you're going to get any Man City players, you've got to look at their academy. Smash your like and subscribe, please. Cheers, Danny. Much appreciated. Amari Miller played as a striker a few times for the under 21s. See, we've got some really good under 21s, Amani. We have. We've got a good group of young players. It's just a matter of if we can if they can be gelled into a makeshift team until Bamford, Routier are back. But I think there's more chance of is it Routier being back over Bamford personally, and Rico Lewis is a right back. Yeah, I mean, if we get, I don't know why we're looking at another right back, Danny. I don't know why we are. I think we've got enough time, right, with Ayling and Cody Drama. And that that's another thing we'll be talking about when we do this match preview. That's going to be with Mali and TD5. So I think that's. Let's have a look at my diary. I think that's Thursday. I've even had to buy a diary. Let's have a look. So tomorrow night I'm with brothers Kieran and Titch at 10 o'clock, and at match preview shows Thursday at 8 o'clock. Yes, so it's Thursday at 8. We have been linked. We are being linked to a scum fullback. Rico Lewis, his loan got rejected today anyway. It did, Amani. I saw it. Is Bamford still injured or not, Stu? Well, as far as I'm aware, he is, yeah. As far as I'm aware, he is. It's a muscle core injury. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see what that is. So yeah, I think Gary's internet over in Indonesia has stopped working. I think they've realised that he's actually come on a stream and they thought he spoke enough and cut him off. I'm sure he'll be back on shortly. I'm sure he'll be back on. Will we find? We will find out in press conference. Right? Do we know when press conference is going to be? I'm assuming it'll be somewhat like Friday, Danny. It'll be Friday when we have press conference. It's going to be interesting to find out from listening to his press conferences again. I'm looking forward to that. With Jesse Marsh's press conferences, it got a bit samey, a bit boring, and a bit robotic. So I'm hoping that Farker's press conferences are much more exciting. How long could it be out for? Do you know? No, apparently he's touch and go if he's going to be available for the Cardiff game, Frankie. That's all I can tell you, mate. That's all I can tell you. Think Friday with kickoff being on Sunday. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And it's going to be good. Are we looking forward to the season starting? I'm looking forward to the season starting. That is for sure. I want when the final whistle blew against Tottenham, but I am now. It's set in. We're in Championship. There's some good teams in Championship. It's going to be competitive. It's going to, we're going to have teams like Middlesbrough, Hull, Millwall again. That should be fun. Plymouth, my missus' team, Green Army, Plymouth. Looking forward to see Leeds playing them. I remember taking Leeds to Leeds' first game were against. It was a League One game against Yeovil. Yeah, League One game against Yeovil opening. I'm sure it was opening game of the season. Lee loved it. Lee, and he got hooked with Leeds. Frankie Bamford hamstring could be 4 weeks, right? So Bamford's got the hamstring injury and Rutier's got the muscle core injury. Cheers, Danny. Hi, Stu. Hiya, Paul, mate. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well over in Thailand. How's Therm Life treating you over there, mate? Hope it's treating you well. Cheers, Danny, lad. How's your internet doing, Gary? Are you nearly back on, or is it cut off totally? Is it totally cut off on you, mate? Don't worry if it's cut off. Congratulations, no one. Yeah, Paul. You know we're not all. You know we're not about numbers, and we don't ask, and we don't. But since we've got there, I seem to be a lot more busier for some reason. I seem to be a hell of a lot more busier when it comes to YouTubing. Big Lee's here with me. Look, what I'm going to do, Lee, I'm going to send you a link so you can join mine for the last 5 minutes so everyone can see you. Right, so I'm going to send you a link now, Lee. Where are you, Lee? Where are you? Right, so Lee, I'm sending you a link now, mate. So jump on if you can. There we go. So I've sent you a link in your WhatsApp, mate. Hey, Expat Paul, hi, Frankie. Everyone said hello, which it's great to see. It's really good to see. Right. Will I be doing a watch along for the Leeds and Cardiff match? I know Gary's going to be doing a watch along for the Leeds Cardiff match, and I think, and I'm hoping that Lee can Lee, and I don't know if Lee's going to be doing watch-alongs. I don't know if we're going to be doing them on Gary's channel. Again, I will put a link into Gary's channel so you can watch us on there, Michael. But you know, Gary's the one who does the watch-alongs, and I've just said that you know I'm not about numbers, so I just said to him that I'll help him best way I can, and you know, it's a good lad, is Gary, you know, so we'll be definitely doing them on his channel. That's the link to Gary's channel once again for everybody. Smash a like and subscribe, please. Great set of lads and great content. Cheers, Danny. Much appreciated, mate. Yeah, so that's the link to Gary's channel. Are you still in chat, Lee, or have you disappeared? Anyway, right. Well, look. Right, here he is. Here's the big man. Here he comes. Let him get his camera set up and stuff. Here he is. Look, the man in the vest. How we doing, Lee? How you doing?
Good.
Still got that nasty cough, haven't you?
Yeah.
You need a shave, lad. I need to give you another shave, don't I? Get you tidied up a little bit. Look forward to getting your decorating done soon, Lee. When it's all been checked.
Yep.
Yeah. What colour are you painting it?
This that colour.
Leeds United colours. Yeah, is that the colour you're going to be painting it? He's dying. He's. What score do you think we will beat Cardiff, Stu? First game of the season at home against Cardiff. Look, I'm going to be conservative. I'm going to go 3-1. I think we'll beat Cardiff 3-1. What about you, Lee?
Leeds United first game of the season. I'll go with 3-0 Leeds.
Go on, Lee. Danny says that you're dying, Lee. Leeds 1, Cardiff 4. Wow, man. Give him a shave, LOL. Yep, gonna give him a shave. You need to leave those fags alone, Lee. Brother Budgie, hope you're doing well, mate. Hope you're doing well. Budgie, Armani laughing at it off at Budgie. I'm going 2-1 either way. So you think it's going to be a close game then, Danny, don't you? I think that the thing what's giving me a bit of confidence is when we only played Cardiff not so long ago in that cup replay of that cup match, and at home we seemed to show us dominance. Whereas if we were playing Cardiff at Cardiff's ground, I would have been a bit more cautious. But I'm a little bit more optimistic now that we're at home. Big concerned as Leeds have no strikers in Rutter and Bamford for Cardiff's match. Let's just hope someone like Joseph or Joffrey can step up. But Lee, the pre-season games, what we've been watching. What's your thoughts with Joffrey, with Geltard? What's your thoughts with him?
I like him.
You like him? Yeah, I know you like him, but has he done enough?
Then I think when it's coming in the second half for Leeds against going on with Forest, it looks good before he gets second half against Nottingham Forest.
Well, he was one who chased the ball down where Bamford scored, didn't he?
Yeah.
Brother Budgie saying hi to Armani. Hiya, Budgiekins. Hello, Budgie. I am only going 2-1 because of our leading goal scorer Bamford being out. Danny loves Bamford. Danny loves Bamford, Lee.
Yeah.
Do you think Bamford can score the 15 goals when he's fit in this season for Leeds again? Can he do it?
Yeah.
You think he can?
Yeah.
See, Gary don't think he can. I don't think it's just low on confidence, isn't it? And it was good to see him get that goal against Forest. He scored, didn't he? With Forest, where he got that goal. Yeah. Who would you start in net, Lee? Meslier or Darlow?
I think I would say Darwin it.
Who do you think he'll start?
I think he probably the Meslier start first.
Well, you think Meslier is going to be number one keeper till we sell him?
Yeah.
Stop a club comes in for him and quick if he wants to go. If Meslier wants to go, let him go. That's my motto. I'm not here to speak about my club. I'm here to support you guys and keep tabs on Leeds. Brother Budget, I'm going to be doing a pre-recording after this of what how I'm close to West Ham, and I'm going to be doing a pre-recording about what's going on at West Ham, because what I'm hearing, Brother Budget, it's not great. Hey, Paul. I don't think he could score in a brothel. That's Frankie. You don't need to know what one of them is, Lee. Get that like button pressed, everyone. Cheers, brother Budgie. I'm sick of people who have played. Yeah, he played at 70% fitness for the last 2 seasons. He has. And let's be honest. But let's be honest, Danny, as well. To be fair to him, right? With all the stuff what happened. His family, all the messages his family were getting, he could have walked away. He could have, as soon as that Tottenham game finished, he could have come out and said, "I want to go," but no, he's staying, and that's got to count for something, hasn't it? That's got to count for something, hasn't it? Do you know what I mean? He wants to stay, Lee. Does Bamford? It's got to count for something. I know a lot of people. I know he splits the fan base, does Bamford, but I think if he went on a consecutive game goal scoring streak of 3 or 4 games, I think a lot of people will turn back to him again. I really do. I think it's because of the penalty miss against Newcastle, the miss he had against Leicester. Now, let's be honest. There's a lot of world-class players with chance. It was just how important the watch was last season. I look forward to hearing your views, brother. Yeah, cheers, brother Budgie, mate. He was the first person Parag phoned to ask if he was staying or going, and he said he was staying. Yeah, that's what I mean, Danny. It's got to it's I think some Leeds fans have got selective memory when it comes to hearing what they want to hear about a player, or if if he's any good or if he's not any good. Do you know what I mean? And I don't just think it happens at Leeds. I think it happens at every football club going. You've got a certain amount of fan base. The fan base have selective hearing. That's what the current status of Jack. What's the current status of Jack Harrison, Stuart? I really like the lad. He's out. He's out injured. Brother Budgie. He's out injured at the moment, and it's. Do we think he's going to be? I don't think he's going to be fit for start of season. They're talking that he's not going to be back until after transfer window break. Is that in September? That is the problem. Number one, he should have been picked. Number two, he should not want to play. If you are broken, you need to get fully fit. Sadly, he keeps breaking down. His body can't take it anymore. Should retire. Straight to the point of man in my love. Here we go. Even if he had scored that goal against Leicester and that penalty, yeah, we would have got 6 points, but we still would have gone down on goal difference. Well, yeah, but this is what I'm saying, Danny, about people having selective memories and selective hearing. You know what I mean? People only want to hear what they want to hear. And, I think, look, I ain't got a problem with people who are a Bamford fan. I ain't got a problem with people who are a Bamford fan. But, to laugh at him when he got injured and stuff, and, all social media stuff going around about laughing when he's been injured, I don't agree with any of that. None of that whatsoever. I don't care if you're worst player in squad. You don't laugh at us player getting injured, do you, Lee?
No.
You there, Lee?
Yeah.
You need to get a new microphone.
I know, no.
You need to get a new one, mate. Forget all this new laptop business and stuff. What you're after, get some decent software first.
Yes, Dad.
Yeah, so we're gonna get you're gonna have to get a new mic.
Yeah.
I ain't buying it. You can buy it.
Okay.
Yeah, good man. Harmonie, he had to play because Rodgers was out. It's a bit like this. I mean, we're going totally off topic here from everything, but it's a bit like Song, Tottenham. Young Song were playing at 60% fitness. He were injured, but because they didn't have anyone to play in his position, he had to keep taking painkilling injections and tablets for pain and stuff, and he had to play because they didn't have anyone else there to play. Do you know what I mean, Lee?
Yeah.
I've got you on. Are you still? Is it still your throat, Lee?
Yeah.
Is it still your throat?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got you on for now, have I? The same people did it to Tyler Roberts. Sorry if this offends, but Bamford isn't reliable enough for pro football. Too injury prone and lacks drive, in my opinion. No, he didn't have to. You say you cannot play simple. Well, that should be down to medical staff to decide that at Leeds. Leeds United medical staff should have been all over that and just he's not fit, he's not playing. You know what I mean? Shouldn't leave it to a player to decide if he wants. That should be taken out of his hands, I think. Well, it looks like Gary's really struggling to get back on, guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to start wrapping up. Gary, if you're there, mate, thank you very much for joining us. And guys, we really hope you've enjoyed this one. Depending, and I'm hoping that if you'll have us back next week for episode 2. Did you enjoy it, Lee?
Yeah.
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 Need to get you a new microphone, mate. With that said, the must. Going to be looking for that when we're finished. Look, guys, thank you very much for watching this edition. This all in LUFC podcast. Much appreciated. Looking forward to doing episode 2 with Gary and see if we can get Russell on. See if Russell's available, or if he's not, he'll be at work. It'll be Gary again. But anyway, thank you for. Leeds are going to be absolutely smash it this season. MOT. FPL needs some content. Yeah, Harmonie, that's why I've bought my diary. I've got a diary now, so I can put everything in, so I don't get double booked and get myself all stressed out. So yeah, I will be doing. There will be a show going out one day this week with Russell. One night this week with Russell. And then next week, I'm going to try getting as many FPL shows as possible for you all. So you've got that to look forward to. Great to see you. Good to see you too, Paul. Hope you're doing well, mate. I really hope you're doing well over in Thailand. Gary, let's have a look. Over. Yeah. You sent me a bank thing, Gary. I hope you sent me a bank thing. Whose is that? Take care, guys. One lives in Harmonie. Not a chance of budget. Yeah, it's you. Don't think we're going to get promoted. Neither do Harmonie. But look, we'll discuss the game more on Thursday with Mali and TD5. We'll go into it a bit more then. So look, guys, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Today, much appreciated. Got a bit of information packed into it, Lee, didn't we? We got all important stuff about players, Creswell signing and everything. So it's all good. Look, guys, thank you very much for watching this edition of Tableton. There's only one thing left to say. It's a goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Take care, everybody. Speak to you all soon.